A Washington County, Tennessee farm known for fun fall festivities is now being used to care for the community. The flood washing away the season at Fenders Farm, but the community has an opportunity to help with recovery efforts this weekend. News 5's Preston Ayers shows us how, even though heartbreaking loss, they're giving back.
This should have been the prime season here on Fenders Farm in Washington County. Take a look at this. This is the You Pick pumpkin patch. Right now, this time of year, it should be filled with families and children picking out their favorite pumpkin to carve into a jack-o'-lantern. Instead, there's a lot of activity on this farm as they work to support the community. But coming up this weekend, there's a chance the community can support this farm in rebuilding. The parking area at Fenders Farm is full. It's always full in October. But these cars aren't from families coming for some fall fun. It's volunteers helping take care of the surrounding community, ripped apart by the flood. Carol Fender told me to hop on his four-wheeler, and he took me for a drive to see what's left of this popular farm.
We've probably got $1.5 million worth of damage down here.
While he's lost a lot and doesn't have flood insurance to pay for it, he's thankful this farm is serving this community.
We're using the top side of our farm right now to accept donations and to give out food, clothing, water.
Granny's Kitchen is always busy this time of year, only this season it's not concessions. Volunteers are cooking hot meals and delivering the food to flood victims.
We're doing about 60 to 70 meals at lunch and 60 to 70 meals at dinner time. We're taking all of those out, delivering them to them, so that way they can keep working on their house. They can, whatever it is that they need to do to get their life back in order as best we can right now.
Over here under the shed, there are piles of donated clothes and supplies, all free to anyone in need. Everything going on here is organized by the community.
This is 100% community response.
As for the activities Fenders have been known for over 2 decades, this season is canceled and it may never return. Volunteers are hard at work trying to fix the haunted barn for maybe just one haunted weekend this year. And they do have pumpkins. They'll open the pumpkin patch this Saturday and Sunday for folks to pick.
The activity that we can offer at Fenders Farm right now is come and pick your own pumpkin. And, you know, everything that we do, the coffers are going to try to rebuild.
Fender tells me he hopes this weekend is the start of moving forward. If you want to come pick a pumpkin this weekend, put your boots on. It's muddy down here. And remember, many of the roads are still closed, so bring your patience as you find your way to get here. But they'll be open Saturday and Sunday. In Washington County, Tennessee, Preston Ayers, News 5, WCYB.
Thank you, Casey. A combined effort in Southwest Virginia designed to help provide hot meals to those in Damascus. News 5's Liam Bridgman followed the crews to share their impact on the community.
I'm here in Damascus, where the community is slowly recovering from the aftermath of Tropical Storm Helene. Here in Damascus Town Park, those in need are getting a much-needed hot meal. Volunteers with the Baptist General Association of Virginia and the American Red Cross have served thousands of meals to the people of Damascus following the damage from Tropical Storm Helene. Bill Bryan, the pastor of Abingdon Baptist Church, one of the organizers of the effort, hopes this will make a difference to the community.
As we deliver these meals, we're providing not only physical nourishment, but hopefully spiritual encouragement to pray with folks, to encourage them.
Tiffany Gillimbardo says these hot meals have been a saving grace for both her and her family.
The storm damage was so hard, but these amazing meals that these amazing people give us really have helped us out, especially with the children. We have no power. We don't know when we're going to get power. Hopefully soon, but for the meantime, this community has really come together to help us out.
These hot meals will continue to be served through Friday of this week. The extent of the damage here in Damascus is still unknown, but in talking with Pastor Bill, he fully expects to provide full support to this community as long as they need it. In Damascus, Liam Bridgman, News 5, WCYB.
In the aftermath of the flooding, crews doing rescues in Washington County, Tennessee discovered a dog stuck in a tree 20 feet off the ground. Fox 39's Rebecca Pepin picks up the story from there.
With all the devastation, it is so wonderful to be able to share some good news. Look at Athena. She was swept away by floodwaters, but survived. She's waiting on her family to get here to the Washington County Johnson City Animal Shelter. They'll be here any minute. But before we talk about the reunion, let's take a look at how we got here.
He turned my head to the window and said, "We have to go." And I saw the road was flooded with water.
Allie and TJ Faulkner live in Jonesboro, Tennessee, along the Nolichucky River. When they realized how fast the water was rising on Friday, they rushed their kids to his parents' house. TJ heading back with his dad to try to rescue their pets, but it was too late.
We took his front end loader and we put it up against a building and climbed up on a building.
From the top of that building, he watched as his house disappeared down the river.
A bunch of debris pushed up against my front porch, and it was metal steel beams. It just collapsed my front porch, and when it done that, it just pushed my house, and it just floated like an arc.
The family's pets still inside. TJ certain he'd never see them again. Then, Wednesday evening, this video surfaced on social media.
Oh, girl, hey.
I was weeping, I was laughing, I was so happy.
The Kingsport Fire Department and a Murfreesboro Police Department K-9 team discovered Athena in a tree. With floodwaters in the area receding, she was now 20 feet off the ground.
The bloodhound was walking and just started going crazy, and I just happened to look up in the tree and, it's like, oh my God, there's a dog.
Athena sitting there quietly as the rescuers raced to dig out a damaged ladder from the debris.
So I climbed up there and I gave her a little bit more food and kind of just made sure she wasn't going to nip at me. And she was probably the sweetest dog I've ever met in my life. She went to everyone that was down there. And was rubbing all over them, and she was thanking us.
Athena's heroes taking her to the shelter, where Thursday morning she was reunited with her family.
I'd like to thank all of you all. You put a light at the end of her tunnel, and I appreciate it.
The Faulkners say despite all they have lost, they're feeling grateful. They have each other and Athena now back safely in their arms.
It's like another member of her family. She's like another child. She means a lot to us.
In Johnson City, Rebecca Pepin, Fox 39 News at 10.
And tonight, the family of employees at Impact Plastics came together for a vigil in Unicoi County. News 5's Janya Nordello has been following this story from the very beginning and was at the vigil this evening. She joins us live in the studio. So, Janya, what was the emotion like tonight?
Yeah, Kristen, it was an emotional night for many people. Many were in tears, and hundreds came together to support the families during this difficult time. The community of Irwin coming together, paying their respects for loved ones they lost, lighting candles one by one in their honor. Even though it's a small town, everyone knows each other, and all of those who are here, it's because they truthfully loved and appreciated every one of the families. Lidia Verdugo, Rosa Andrade, Monica Hernandez Corona, Berta Mendoza, Sabrina Barnett, and Johnny Peterson went missing Friday morning. The Tennessee Department of Health has confirmed 4 deaths in Unicoi County, but have not officially released the names of who died. We never know what else can come. Right now we're okay, and tomorrow we're not. Today we can go to work and never come back. Community members announcing out loud
Johnny Peterson, presente,
that their loved ones remain in their hearts. These are just moments after the vigil, and emotions are high. And as you can see behind me, there's a long line waiting to give the family their condolences. Guadalupe Hernandez Corona was notified on Wednesday that the body of her sister, Monica Hernandez Corona, was found. She tells me this gave them closure. I saw her and I said goodbye. I told her to go in peace with God, with her sister, with her mother, and just to leave in peace because we have her children and to not worry about them. Also saying she hopes this will help families in the future. This should cross borders so this never happens again. If there's a hurricane coming, please, to all the workers, don't go to work. The money is not important, but a life can never be given back. Guadalupe, along with the rest of the family, say together they'll move forward just as their loved ones would have wished. My sister is here with us, and I know that she is watching over us, and she is giving me the strength to tell everyone they are not alone. In Irwin, Johnny Nordello, News 5, WCYB.
Donations continue to pour in from all across for Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia flood victims, bringing people from all around the United States together to support those in need. Andrew McClung learns it's even bringing rivals together.
The sun has been a welcome sight for many in Carter County recently. But at the same time, it shines a light on the destruction left behind from last week's flooding.
We've had people who have literally lost everything.
Hampton Elementary School has become a donation site for flooding victims. Principal Jake Jenkins says they've been overwhelmed with donations.
We've had trucks pull in from Texas, from Kansas, from Missouri, just asking, hey, what do we need? What can we do to help?
One such truck is from Greene County resident James Dean.
Well, I knew right away we wanted to do something. I didn't really know what it was going to turn into.
Dean is a big Tennessee fan. He began a new tradition when the Vols played Oklahoma by supporting a charity of the Vols' opponent.
I posted some Venmo links and stuff, and we ended up raising about $5,000 that we donated.
He was planning on doing the same for the Arkansas game, but when the floods happened, he changed course, becoming a true volunteer, asking for donations to benefit flood victims in Tennessee and Virginia.
When I made that post, all of a sudden, you know, kind of what I expected to be maybe some negative things turned positive, because all kinds of people from Oklahoma and Tennessee both said, hey, how can we help? How can we help you?
That help has turned into nearly $50,000.
It's bigger than the game, so to see everybody come together, it's just been phenomenal.
With Dean and his crew turning it into truckloads of joy.
We're loading them down with water and goods, and we're delivering them and dropping it off, and then we're going back out and loading up again.
Providing much more than supplies.
The hope's high, and they're going to be resilient, and we're going to get through it.
In Carter County, I'm Andrew McClung.
On Thursday afternoon, Ohio Senator and Vice Presidential nominee for the Republican Party, J.D. Vance, came to the Tri-Cities airport. Then he took a motorcade to Damascus, Virginia, to visit with residents and see the storm damage from Helene firsthand. After he was done talking with residents and taking a tour around Damascus, I got an exclusive one-on-one interview with the senator.
Can you just describe the damage you've seen here firsthand today?
Yeah, look, it is extraordinary damage. I mean, you look behind me, you've got a car being crushed by a home. But I will say it is a miracle that nobody in Damascus lost their lives. And I think it's a real testament to the first responders who got people out, got them out quickly. And look, this is a community that is incredibly strong. It's resilient. It's going to rebuild. So I take certainly an appreciation of the scale of the tragedy, but I'm honestly inspired because people are already thinking, how are we going to rebuild this community? How are we going to make it even better than it was before? And that is just great Appalachian human American spirit that we're seeing. And I think the whole country is going to be inspired by it.
What was your message to the people here in Damascus that you met with and talked to about what they went through and also the hope of the future?
Well, I think the first and most important message was, look, man, we see you, we love you, we're supporting you, and we know it's not easy to rebuild your community after something like this happens. I mean, a lot of what people want is they don't want a handout, right? They want the government to do what it ought to do. They want disaster relief to be provided when it's promised, and they just want to know that their leaders actually care about them and actually see them. And that's what I wanted to do, is just go and show a little support. I mean, you know, it's not easy when you've got a giant Secret Service detail to you know, we don't want to strain local law enforcement resources, so we decided to come after the main recovery and rescue operation was done. But we just saw so much good in this community, and we're thrilled to see it.
This recovery will take months and years, as the governor said. Yeah. If elected, how will you help this community rebuild and the surrounding communities?
Well, we just got to make sure they get the resources they need, right? It's very simple. I mean, you know, you've got basic infrastructure. You've got water systems that need to be rebuilt. You've got power lines that need to be rebuilt. I've, of course, learned today, and I actually love to go cycling with my own kids, that this is a major bicycle pathway, and it drives a lot of the economic development in this region. Well, a lot of those paths were completely destroyed, so we got to rebuild them, or this town's economy is going to suffer because of it. So I think it's just the basic infrastructure, right? And this happens when you have a major disaster. You got to rebuild. You got to have a government that's focused on this community. That's what we're going to do when Donald Trump and I win.
Last one for you. Between now and November 5th, anybody's going to see this, what do you want them to know, the Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee communities?
You know, what I most want them to know is that we care about them, we're supporting them, and they should take some inspiration by how resilient this community is. I mean, this is incredible, like I said, American spirit. But I think when it comes to the recovery efforts, they should know that we're always going to support them. We're going to do everything that we can to help them, and they're not going to be forgotten. This community that's been forgotten by politicians for generations, we're not going to forget them. That's true before the storm, but it's certainly true now that they're recovering. I'm going to come back here. We're going to fight for this community, and we're going to do it every day.
In addition to Senator Vance, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin and also State Senator Todd Pillion were in attendance for today's tour of Damascus, all of them echoing that they want to see Damascus rebuilt better than ever before. I'm Casey Getz.